I started thinking of starting an architecture publication while I was graduating, like in my final year in university. And there's always a typical direction of an architect where we're expected to go out and build. And if you don't build or leave a space behind, it's almost like your 5-year worth of education is pointless. And I wanted to go into publishing because I genuinely believe that there's a missing discourse in terms of the built environment in the Middle East and in Dubai specifically. I grew up at a time where the city was changing and there was a lot of construction, and a lot of the spaces that I grew up knowing were destroyed or removed. I wanted to document that, to document the change, to document the people who lived in these environments, and that's how the idea of an architecture publication came about. And I might not be building, but I think we are leaving thought and an interesting discussion behind. It came from a love of print and a love of the tangible paper as an object to leave or to keep, and that's how the medium of the magazine came about. But what we feature per issue is a variety. Like, it could be conceptual ideas or a physical space, or even a criticism of thought or of an idea of the built environment. And we try to not have it heavy in jargon where it can be appealing to someone who doesn't come from the architecture background. In fact, I would rather that it resonates with people who are not from the profession. And what we cover per issue, it's usually themed, and how we go about it is a topic that we usually know very little about, and we start to uncover through each issue. And that's what's exciting. I would not want to repeat or discuss a subject that we know a lot of, because quite frankly, what do we know of the world? One, the belief that through documentation and through accumulating all this information, I think the value of it will come within the next 10 years and not necessarily now. So believing that the research will become a reference for future architects or designers in the region. And that's one thing that keeps us going. And another thing that keeps us going is our readers. It could be a one-sentence email that we get from a young architect in Chicago that's from Kuwait, and he or she is learning something from the region. And it might not be such a drastic or huge information, but it's enough for now. I think failing multiple times is good. It's always healthy. Everyone has a vision, and I think if the outcome is not what one has envisioned, then it's perceived as failure, but really it should be seen as the drive forward and not failure. And understanding that it's time, and through time you reach your goals, and it's not just gonna surface overnight. There isn't one direction in a profession, and there are so many ways in which you can approach what you learned and how you can take it on. And block all the noise. Your gut knows what it wants, and just go for it. I think there's so many opportunities to change professions, or to pack up and take on a new dream, not to be scared to drop what you have, take multiple dreams forward. In the creative industry, I never noticed the gender as a factor in the project, whereas it was actually the opposite. I'd look at the project and the person behind it, and it was only 2 weeks ago, I think, or 3 weeks ago, where I've noticed I was sitting at a table, and in the meeting, and the entire table was filled with powerful women with amazing ideas. And that's when it hit me that the majority of individuals in the creative industry, or the creative industry, is led by women. Of course, we can do it. نحن قادرات.